Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi. Welcome back.
It's Amina Hines,
Cha-ching Gwen.
Mental Health for All. So it's been a while. We apologize, but we're back, and we are going to continue with the fourth segment on multiple personality disorders, or identity dissociative disorder, also known as split personality.
GDI.
Yeah. So the lineup for today is I'm going to briefly talk about actually how you need to diagnose it. We talked about the symptoms and signs, and then we're going to talk about different types of dissociation that comes along with this disorder, and then Trina is going to talk about the ways in which you dissociate. So I just want to say that, you know, in order to identify this disorder, you really need to have a professional evaluate you. So the way they would go about it is they would do an intense, extensive psychiatric review, and sometimes this may involve hypnosis and use of a sedative. And once they identify this disorder, they may even try to integrate those different personalities through hypnosis and sedatives. So now I just want to talk about the different types of dissociation and give you a little brief explanation of each. So there are 5 types. You may have heard of some of these before. I'm going to quickly tell you what they are and then what they actually involve. So the first one is depersonalization. The second one is derealization. The third one is amnesia, which is very popular. And the fourth one is identity confusion. And the fifth one is identity alteration. So derealization is when the person suffering from multiple personality disorder is feeling detached from their own body. So this is what we talked about in previous videos about this outer body experience. And so in this way, they just feel disconnected as a whole. The second one, derealization, is more in terms of the person's connection to their environment. So this person may feel like the world itself is not real, it's unreal, and they may feel like they're in a fog or a mist, and they find it very difficult to connect, whether it's to nature or other people or anything in their environment. The third one, like I said, is amnesia, which is very popular, but it's a very misunderstood type of dissociation as well. And so with this, there's a trouble on the part of the individual in recollecting information about themselves. And so, and this goes way beyond forgetfulness. This is extreme forgetfulness to the point where they may not even know who they are. Think about a person who is senile and they look at a loved one and they don't know who they are. So that's kind of what amnesia is. You don't recognize yourself. Identity confusion is when you struggle to understand who you are. So, like it says, it has to do with your identity. So you don't see yourself the way that you really are. And because of that, you're more likely to engage in activities that are destructive. For instance, you may overindulge in substances like alcohol. You may commit violent acts, or you may indulge in risky sexual behavior. So all of this is because you don't know who you are. And then, whereas amnesia is you don't know information about yourself. And then the last one is identity alteration. And this one is you're separated from different aspects of yourself. So where amnesia might be, okay, you don't know how old you are, your history, where you come from. Identity disorder confusion is you don't know, like, you don't think you're a good person, or you think, I don't know, it has to do more with your personality than your history. And then identity alteration, different parts of yourself. So this may be more about, it's like you change it. You change your identity. And so you no longer see yourself the way you are. So it kind of goes along hand in hand with the confusion, but the confusion is more like you just don't know who you are, and your alteration is you just changed who you are, or you change your understanding of who you are. So to recap, the 5 types of dissociation are derealization, depersonalization, amnesia, identity confusion, and identity alteration.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the different ways people dissociate. One way someone might dissociate is different parts of your personality. Okay, your voice. Sometimes when people dissociate, it depends on the way they might be dissociating. They might go from an adult voice to a child voice. They might use different names. They might have different names for themselves. Okay, when they dissociate, different names, so that way they are able to keep up when they are dissociating, to know who are they talking to and who are they dealing with at that moment. Okay, dissociation, part of it is where you feel like you are actually losing control of yourself. You feel like you're just floating. You can't make sense of what's going on. You're just floating. You cannot connect with yourself. You cannot connect with your brain. Okay? So it feels like you're just actually losing control of yourself and of your environment. Different parts of your identity at different times. You might use your whatever identity that pops up at that moment, at whatever situation that you're in, it might pop up for each different situation, because we might not be able to cope with that certain situation. So what you do is you develop a certain personality to be able to deal with that person or with that situation while you're dealing with that situation. So there are different ways of dissociating, and we're going to cover more next week on more ways on dissociation, and I'm going to describe how the mind dissociate, and we're going to just cover more next week on this different parts of those dissociation.
Okay, so thanks again for joining us. Like and share our video. Welcome. We'll come back again.
Thank you. Bye bye, y'all, and don't forget